Penny Parker players tend to fall into a mixed bag in terms of skill. They're either the best you've ever seen or a giant walking hitbox for the enemy team, and refusing to switch off, turning your comp matches into a 7v5 instead of a 6v6. The one difference between these players isn't how good or bad they are at the game, but rather understanding the nature of Penny's kit in general. When I first picked up the character, I had no idea what I was doing or what her skills did. And now after a bit of playtime, I can confidently boast my 70% win rate as a matter of skill with the character instead of it being luck with my teams. Now, I don't have the most amount of hours on Penny, nor am I the highest rank with her, but after observations of the top Penny players and based on my own experience, I feel confident enough to talk about this playstyle. Recently, after making some changes to my gameplay, I've been on a bit of a win streak, but the change that I made was really simple. I started playing like a spider. Now, a quick rundown of Penny's kit will show us a ton of info on her skills and passives, and most players understand these things from the get-go. Every single person who plays Penny Parker knows that they should be placing her trap, that they should be setting mines, and they should be stunning enemies. However, the amount of times that I have seen Platinum and Diamond and even GM players just plop her utility in the middle of an area just for it to get immediately destroyed and for her to die is just mind-boggling. However, when you put the pieces together just well enough, she can become an absolute demon in your matches. Now, in nature, spiders spin their webs in select spots to bait and catch prey and to avoid predators. When their prey is caught in their web, they usually meet their demise. And whenever a spider is threatened in their web, the spider either makes an attempt to fight or flees and sets up in another area to resume catching prey and avoiding the predators at all costs. Now, just as there are many spiders, there are many ways to play this character, between bunkering down and setting up an area where you can completely lock the enemy out, flanking to high ground and making it so that your enemies can't approach you, and even diving on supports. However, in most cases, if not all, Penny will need to set up her web. Now, there are many guides on the specifics of web placement, mine lineups, and ideal spots for her traps on maps. So I'm not going to be going over any of that information. Instead, we'll be sticking solely to the idea of the playstyle itself. There are tons of better videos out there for all of the placement information, and honestly, it's been done so much at this point that I feel like me adding anything to it would just be repeating what I've heard from other people. So back to covering the concept of playing like a spider. A good example and place to start, in my opinion, is on Bifrost Garden, the domination map. Now, if you've played this map enough, you've probably taken notice of this wall right here. This wall is actually indestructible, and personally, it's one of my favorite spots to set up my web. By placing Penny's trap up against the wall here, it's in a very safe spot, and by extending the web over common entrances to the point, it allows for a ton of coverage and damage potential, forcing the enemy team to either take a more risky open path or to fight me directly on home turf. And in many cases, it leads to me destroying their squishy units without even having to look at them. Now, many players, no matter what rank, are too busy trying to focus on the objective, trying to get kills or to heal their teammates, and instead of paying attention to the area around them, they're just running in. And with that, even more players refuse to outright respect Penny's webs as a whole, leading to kills that could benefit you and your team. So I beg of you, fellow Penny players, to stop running up front with your trap and instead to play like a spider and bait the enemy into you. I mean, look at this. Look at how many times this just works. By poking and baiting enemies into me, it just leads to kills and puts their DPSs back on freaking 10-second cooldown while they have to respawn, and their supports, leaving them unable to heal their team or even able to get to them in the first place. Now, I currently will keep using this concept as I try to take my Penny to eternity, and I hope that by providing this insight that many will do the same. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and join me on my journey as I climb the ranks, and I hope to see you all in another video.